in his new book, Consolations 2, takes everyday words and writes about them in the most interesting ways. And so I opened the book to the word old, which felt somehow relevant and scary at the same time, as each of us is getting older every day. And this is what he says. He says, old is always surprisingly new to those actually growing older. The stranger in the mirror, a mortal testament to the rigors of the journey we seem to have undergone. In the daily and surprising newness of recognizing we are old, one thing we know for certain, that stranger in the mirror is not a true outer representation of the new, inner, fresh life still being born far inside of us. You know, as we get older, we have a choice about how we live. And I know that some people choose to say, okay, now I'm old, and stop moving and stop being and stop creating that new inner life. And some, up until their very last breath, are fresh and new on the inside, always engaging with life in whatever way serves them. I want to be like that as I get older, to continue to be fresh and new inside myself, even as the body ages. And he continues to talk about old for many pages, but this is what I wanted to read to you. He says, youth has the burning need to travel on from the here and now. Old has the possibility of understanding that no matter where it finds itself in the world, here and now is the biggest, most challenging, and most interesting journey of all, demanding everything for our proper arrival. So just think about that, demanding everything for our proper arrival. Everything is every part of who we are. And a proper arrival, to my mind, is to arrive in the here and now. So arriving in the here and now requires all of me. Every part of me has to be present to fully be in the here and now. So this idea of the practice of yoga is all about bringing ourselves to the here and now, and not just bringing one part of ourselves, but bringing every part of ourselves. Because yoga is also, by definition, the integration of every part, the cohesive gathering together and pulling ourselves into one whole body, mind, spirit, history, desires, everything that makes us who we are, which in the course of life, I find is, okay, I like that part of myself, but not that part of myself. I'm going to really engage with this part of myself, and I'm going to shove this part of myself down because I don't want to acknowledge it. So proper arrival in yoga is to say, okay, every part of myself is a valid part, and that to be fully present and fully in my life, every part has to be fully included. Nothing can be excluded. Everything is part of the whole. So here and now is the biggest, most challenging, and most interesting journey of all, demanding everything for our